Hi, Katie. Of course. You're gonna have to say hi when we're back in the studio so I can put a face to your name. I'll probably go, oh, of course that's you. Hopefully we can get back to the studio soon. I mean, it's warm in my house, but it'd be nice for it to be hot. Welcome, everyone. As always, give a couple minutes for people to log in. If you want to grab yourself some cushions, props, pillows. Aw, I love you guys too. To give yourself some support, it's always a good idea in a yin practice. Okay. So we will begin as we always do, in Shavasana. So coming onto your back body and taking up as much space as you need. And beginning to feel into your body tonight, really landing in the skin you're in as you just notice how your body feels here. Noticing any achiness, any tension, any tightness. And seeing if you can breathe into that tension, softening deeper into the earth beneath you. Feeling how your bones are held by the floor beneath you. And seeing if you can soften the muscles around that support. And then begin bringing your awareness to the sensations of the breath moving through your body. Without changing anything at first, just noticing how the breath is moving. Is it short, shallow, or is it long, deep, and even? And then maybe see if you can draw the inhales in a little bit deeper. And let the exhales flow out a little bit longer. Finding this long, deep, and even breath to guide you through the longer held yin postures. And then probably most importantly in a yin practice, noticing now what is arising in your mind. Yin yoga is very much meditative practice, so it's important to be connected to your mind. So just noticing what arises here. And if you notice quite a bit of mental chatter or busyness, maybe instead see if you can shift your awareness to rest on an intention for your practice or a mantra. Perhaps using the mantra, I am here, I am safe, I am grounded. Whatever phrase keeps you anchored to the here and now, perhaps I am present. Yoga is this integration of movement, breath, and mindfulness. So the intention is to stay connected to all three of these aspects, if you can, or choosing one to solely place your awareness upon. Just spending a few more moments here attuning to the body, connecting to the breath, and slowing down the mind. Can begin bringing your awareness to the palms of your hands, following with a little bit of movement, maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes, maybe circling the wrists and the ankles as you wake the body up. On an inhale, reach the body long, fingertips and toes reach in opposite directions as you lengthen out your spine. And then as you exhale, hugging your right knee in towards your belly for half wind reliever. You can catch onto the back of your right thigh or the front of your shin. Maybe taking some gentle movements with the foot, the ankle. Waking up the lower body. Before you draw your thigh closer to your belly and find a little bit of stillness in this shape. Inwards with your awareness. Yin Yoga offers us this extraordinary opportunity to draw inwards, to explore our inner landscape. We're not as distracted as we are by the more active yang movements that you would take in a traditional vinyasa or hatha class. Instead, like I said before, really see if you can make this a meditative practice. Using our longer time in the postures to get curious about your practice and ultimately about who you are. And in a meditative practice, there is always an anchor for the mind. There's always a point of focus. We're not just letting the mind wander and drift, though we can as long as there is awareness behind that. But a lot of times it's easier to find this meditative quality by focusing on something. And that's when the breath really comes in handy because it's always available to us. So particularly in this posture, I like to notice that expansive quality as my belly balloons on the inhale, pressing against the resistance of my thigh. And then as you exhale, see if you can suddenly draw your thigh into that newfound space. Again, feeling how the breath moves through the body and the experience of the inhales and the exhales in this shape. Using each inhale and each exhale as a constant, stable source of awareness. As you exhale, you can release your grip on your right shin or thigh, bending the left knee, grounding the left sole of the foot into the mat, and then crossing the right ankle over the left thigh. You can either stay here in figure 4 as you subtly draw your right knee away from your midline, Or you can begin to pick the left foot up off of the ground, catching onto the back of your thigh or the front of your shin for thread the needle. Or maybe you'd like to take this into a twist, taking twisted thread the needle as you roll onto your left hip, grounding the right sole of the foot into the mat as you aim to reach the right knee towards the sky. In all these positions, you should feel a tugging, a stretching, an opening in the right glutes. The biggest thing in our yin practice is to let go of what you think the pose should or shouldn't look like. We're not looking for Instagram-worthy shapes or postures here. Remembering that if you are feeling it, you are doing it. So feel what you feel. Notice what you notice. Letting it all rise up with minimal judgment, minimal story. Taking just a few more breaths here. Noticing how the inhales and the exhales weave your body and your mind together.
It's hard, we can be exposed to so much dark every minute. Oh, but trust me when I say there's a light, there's a love and there's a way. So if your world gets heavy and your fire burns low, your road gets rough and your heart runs cold, just let it breathe like the wind through the trees. Let it flow with ease like an ocean breeze. Take it all in and let it all out. Take it all in. Yeah, let it all out. Sometimes I know it gets tough. You lie in bed at night wondering if you're enough.
And then if you're in a twist on the inhale, rising up, uncrossing your right leg, extending both of your legs long as you come into what we call the rebound posture. And this is where you're really given the opportunity to notice the effects of the posture. Feeling any tingling, any warmth, any pulsations as they move through your lower body. Seeing if you can settle into the effects of the shape. Allowing sensations to wash over your body.
Let it all out. So if your day gets crazy, don't think there's nothing that
And then
you can't
on an inhale again, coming into another stretch as you lengthen the vertebrae, reaching long. And then as you exhale, hugging your left knee in towards your body, catching onto the back of your thigh or again the front of your shin. Taking movement and then finding stillness.
take it all in. Let it all out. Yeah,
awareness. Staying rooted in the here and the now. just a few more deep inhales and long exhales. And then as you release the last exhale, releasing your right foot down to the ground, uncrossing your left leg, again extending both of your legs out long as you come to your rebound posture. Seeing if you can settle the back of your head and your bones into the earth. Begin softening the skin on your face as you spread that softness down your entire body. Feel an unburdening as the body lets go a little bit more and a little bit more. Slowly begin to bend both of your knees up towards your belly. You have a couple options here. You can take full wind reliever by just hugging your knees in towards your belly. Or you can begin to take your knees wide, bringing the soles of your feet towards the ceiling, interlacing your peace fingers around your big toes for happy baby. The exhale, seeing if you can subtly draw your knees towards the earth beneath you. But without yanking or forcing, you're just using the natural weight of your hands and gravity to guide yourself into this posture. There's never any forcing, any fighting in the yin practice. Yin isn't so much about doing, it's about being. We simply use these postures as an opportunity to be in our bodies in a different way, to breathe into our bodies with more intention, more awareness. And then using the body and the breath and this new way of being, we simply explore what comes up. We notice any resistance in both body and mind and see if we can move past that resistance with each inhale and each exhale. To think of Yin Yoga as an opportunity to explore conditions of being human. We get to really tap in and get to know these bodies that don't come with an owner's manual. We get to notice how the breath changes this experience in our bodies. And just notice, does a shallow breath make this pose a little bit more challenging and a little bit more uncomfortable? Does a long, deep, and even inhale and exhale, does that settle the mind and soothe the body? It's like your own little experiment of being for an hour on your mat. as you exhale, guiding your knees back together, extending the legs out long. Oh, and this is one where you really notice the release of the posture. Really feeling the difference that makes in your lower body, legs, and groin. The sensations of the circulation moving through your body are really quite profound if you dive into it with your awareness. Bending your knees once again, slowly roll yourself onto whichever side feels most comfortable. And then taking your time as you make your way into tabletop. So stacking wrists under elbows, elbows under shoulders, and most importantly for this posture, knees underneath your hips. Taking an inhale here, and then as you exhale, walking your fingertips away from you, dropping your chest towards the ground for Anahatasana, or mounting heart. So keeping the hips in line with the knees. This isn't child's pose. You want this heaviness to come from the heart space. And then with each exhale, seeing if you can really melt into the earth beneath you. Softening your chest towards the ground or a block. Softening your collarbones. Relaxing your armpits as you really let go here. This feels a little bit tight in your shoulders. You can always take your arms out a little bit wider. And then maybe see if you can focus a little bit more on the exhales rather than the inhales. As you release the breath, seeing if you can further release the body. Letting each exhale guide you deeper into this shape. Deeper into your experience of your body here. as you exhale, you can allow your sit bones to drop towards your heels, coming into a child's pose. But seeing if you can release your arms alongside your body, releasing that extension in your arms as you allow the tops of your shoulders to drop towards the floor. Grounding your forehead into a block or the mat as you really round into yourself. Releasing all effort as you simply begin to draw your experience deeper inward. And then on your inhale, pressing up once again into a tabletop position. Sliding your right knee to the outside of your right wrist, walking the left leg long behind you for swan, or known in more young practices, pigeon. You might like to bring a cushion, pillow, or block underneath that right sit bone. Taking a few breaths here, lifting the heart space, broadening the collarbones. And then as you exhale, slowly lowering down, coming into sleeping swan, resting your forehead onto stacked fists or a block. Letting go of what you think this pose should look like. Be willing to simply be with the sensations, regardless of what the aesthetics appear to be. Yoga is not for the flexible, it's for the willing. You have to be willing to drop your guard, to let down any walls that you have built up so that you can move into your inner landscape and embrace the essence of who you are. Yoga means union. So see if you can drop the stories, release the negative narratives, and unite with the truth of who you are. Sometimes that's easier said than done, especially when working with the hips. You might drop in and see that, or at least on the surface, feel that the truth of who you are is someone who doesn't want to be in this shape. And if that's the case, see if you can use the breath to ease the shape. Sending your inhales and your exhales to the sensations as they arise. And maybe you notice that just by sending your breath to the uncomfortable sensations, that perhaps they begin to shift, change, move, or maybe even completely dissipate, if even for a moment. Jai Guru your inhale, pressing into your palms as you rise up. Sliding yourself back onto your belly, bringing the left ear to the ground. Right elbow and right knee come to 90 degrees as you soften into drowning man's pose. Really seeing if you can let the body melt here. Yoga is this balance between control and surrender. You work through quite a bit of control in swan pose. See if you can really surrender here. Giving up all effort to the earth beneath you as you allow the body and any tension in it to melt away. And as you exhale, extending your right leg out long, pressing yourself once again into a tabletop position. Taking an inhale once again on the exhale, coming into swan, this time sliding the left knee to the outside of the left wrist. Walking your right leg long behind you, taking a few breaths here with the heart open and the chest up. And then as you exhale, soften into a block or the earth. Make this pose work for you. Be intentional here and find a variation of this shape that is sustainable, that's gonna support you. Because yoga is about finding your own rhythm, your own path. It's about self-expression. Yoga allows you to become curious about who you are and helps you to find peace with any unexpected internal discoveries. So we want this shape to be one that is challenging but also peaceful. It is this perfect balance between effort and ease. rising up. Sliding yourself onto your belly once again, this time bringing your right ear to the ground, bending the left elbow and left knee to 90 degrees as you soften into Drowning Man's pose. Connect to your breath as you soften. Slowly begin to roll yourself onto your side. Extending both of your legs out long in front of you. And then bringing the right sole of the foot to the inside of the left thigh for half butterfly or Janu Sirsasana. Inhales, you lift up and out of the waist. And then exhales, you fold over your left leg, catching onto thigh, shin, ankle, or maybe even your foot. But remembering that allowing that soft and nurturing quality we talked about at the beginning of class. We are never forcing, we just allow the body to move into the expression that feels best. Just gradually allowing the chest and the belly to make its way a little bit closer to your thigh. And we do that by softening, not being rigid, tense, and forceful, but by relaxing, by giving up all effort and letting gravity gradually guide us closer to our legs. And remembering to nurture your entire experience in this shape with deep inhales and long exhales. Noticing perhaps the exhales allow you to let go a little bit more into this shape. Remember, it's a passive practice. You want to put in some effort, but not too much. It's a fine balance, which is why we really connect into our inner landscape, to connect with that inner teacher. Because I can't tell you how deep to go, what feels good in your body. It's something you have to explore within and of yourself. So get curious, and then get honest. Knowing where your limitations are and honoring them, respecting your body. Self-acceptance means to respect your body and any limitations that arise. So if you need to ease off, ease off. If you find more space, explore more space. inhale, slowly using your hands to bring you up, we're going to move into full butterfly. So extending both of your legs long and then bringing the soles of your feet to touch. So you're creating this diamond-like shape with your legs. Softening in your inner thighs as you allow the knees to drop towards the earth or the support of blocks. Again, seeing if you can really draw up from the root of your being, up your spine, lengthening. And then as you exhale, slowly moving into the space created by your legs. Remembering it's not about getting anywhere, so your forehead doesn't have to touch your feet. It's about moving past the resistance of being here. Moving past the resistance of being with the sensations in your body. Moving through any resistance in the breath. Maintaining that long, deep connection through each inhale and each exhale. And then perhaps the most challenging of all, moving past any resistance in the mind. Moving past anything that's trying to pull you away from the here and the now and that experience of being fully in your body within the confines of this shape. So see if you can really be here. Staying anchored into the now for just under a minute in this shape. It's not a very long time to be present with yourself. On your inhale, slowly rising up, extending your legs out long, and this time bringing the left sole of the foot to the inside of the right thigh as we move into half butterfly. Again, seeing if you can lift up and out of the waist, maybe reaching with the fingertips and then folding over your extended leg. Catching on to wherever you're able to catch on to without forcing your body. Remembering that yoga is not a workout. It is a work in. And this is the point of our practice. To make us teachable. To open our hearts and focus our awareness so that we can know what we already know and be who we already are. At its essence, yoga isn't about changing anything. It's about exploring what already is. And we do that exploration with so much kindness and reverence for our bodies. So much compassion and appreciation for showing up and doing the practice, Even if your body doesn't feel good, even if you don't feel like you can do the poses perfectly, even if you butt up against some challenges in your mind, you're still here doing your best. And that is the most important part of our practice, is simply to do our best, to become the best we can be, to become better, more compassionate and aware humans. But that begins here, that begins now, and that begins with all that energy and love directed at yourself. So take a few more here of the most loving breaths you can muster, because this is our last posture. So enjoy it for the last few inhales and the last few exhales. On your inhale, very slowly bring yourself up, extending your left leg to meet the right, grabbing a sip of water or anything else that you might need before you make your way onto your back for a final and perhaps most important posture, Shavasana. And like you did at the beginning, taking up as much space as you need here. Really feeling into the earth as you allow the floor to hold the bones to hold the muscles. And then seeing if you can soften every cell of your being into that support. This is where the true yoga is. Some translate yoga to mean union. It is here in Shavasana that we become aware of this union. We witness the work of what we have done in our practice. That marriage of movement, breath, and mindfulness all come together to settle into this very moment. So take as much time as you need in this moment, exploring what this sense of union means in and of yourself. To thank you all so much for joining me in practice today. I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. I honor the place in you that holds your love, light, truth, and beauty. I honor the place in you that when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, all illusions of separation fall away, and we become connected as one. From my heart to yours, Namaste.